Good morning, metalheads. I'm Brad with your Noble Precious Metals Report for July 22nd, 2021. Welcome back, and today is Thursday, which means that we've got a bunch of different reports on the board for us. Starting out, we have the initial jobless claims, we have the continuing jobless claims, we've got home sales, we've got all sorts of things. We've seen in the metals market, we've seen silver go up, we've seen silver go down, we've seen gold go up, and we've seen gold go down now. So we just have to kind of look at everything and go from there. So without any further ado, let's get to the quick hits. As I've mentioned, the major economic reports, we've got the unemployment numbers, we have existing home sales, and we have the index of leading economic indicators that are coming up today. By the time this comes out, everything should be released, and they should be priced into the market at that point. If early indicators are anything to go by, we're not seeing a great thing. The big board is mixed. We've got a lot of red, we've got a lot of green going all over the place. Silver is currently down, gold is currently down, silver retail is currently down, and gold retail is mostly up, but there are a couple of exceptions. So turning our attention to the big board, we can see that if we look at the indices for the equities, the Dow is taking a hit today. It's down by almost 0.25%. The S&P is down by 0.07%, negative 0.07. The NASDAQ is up by 0.33%, and the Russell Small Cap is down over 1% at 1.17. Going and looking, we can see on the energy portion of things, energy is actually doing pretty well. It's up today, with the exception of natural gas, which is down by about 0.5%. That is definitely in contrast to grains. Grains is pretty red today. It's not even like a dark red. It's more of just that bright red, except for rough rice. So if you're in grains, watch your investments. But turning to metals, we can see that we have kind of a mix. We've got 2 green, 2 red, and 1 black. So palladium and copper are both up over 1%. Platinum is kind of riding the middle. It's currently up 0.05%. Well, just shifted 0.18%. But silver is down 0.63% at 25.10. And gold has actually fallen under that 1800 mark, which is kind of a big thing right now. So we just have to kind of look at that and see what's going on. Turning to our economic reports, as I've already mentioned, the initial jobless claims, those numbers actually did come in. They're at 419,000. Even though my board didn't update because my data source is a little bit slow to update. Continuing jobless claims, those have actually declined. I don't have the number right in front of me at the moment, but we'll check that out in just a second. We're still waiting on existing home sales and the index of leading economic indicators as well. So hopefully if that comes out by the time I'm done editing this episode, I will throw it into the comments or into the description or anything like that so that you do have the data. And tomorrow we're looking at the market flash reports for manufacturing, the Purchase Managers Index, and services for the same. And those should be pretty telling, and those are due out first thing in the morning. So I might wait around to see what those go on. On our 10-year Treasury rate, we can see that there is some actual positive movement right now. As we look at this, we can see that we had that decline all the way into the 20th. Last night, we actually closed significantly higher, 8 bips higher at 1.28. And there's a 7-point spread between low and high. And right now we're trading flat still at the 1.28. But the high low dispersion is really closed up. It's now only 3 bips. So we're moving in the right direction on that, which is odd whenever someone says we need to see interest rates higher. But we do actually need to get them up a little bit higher, because there is significant ramifications for this not being in a good range. Even looking at the difference between the average of what we are over the last 3 months at 1.51 or the median at 1.53, there's quite a range in between. So we definitely need to kind of move through that and get those more in alignment and agreement. So as promised, real quick, I'm going to hit on the unemployment numbers that came out today. Let me zoom in first on initial claims, and we can see that starting at July 3rd that week, we had 386,000. We then declined last week to 368,000, and then took a jump right up to 419,000. Now, previously, the only time that we've gotten close was June 19th. We were at 416,000, or the week prior to that at June 12th at 418. But we're still riding higher than both of those. And in order to get to a point where the number was either the same or higher, we have to go all the way back to May 15th. That's definitely something that we need to look at in terms of the direction and the positivity of what's going on. And I think that we're going to start seeing the market basically price this in a little bit more as the day goes on. But this will have some lasting effects. Now, if we instead focus on continued claims, and again, we're always a week behind, so we're looking at the week of July 10th. We went from the prior week of July 3rd at 326,000, or 3.26 million, down to 3.23 million. So we're still waiting on those numbers, see where they all came out, but we'll have to deal with those as they come. But we're generally heading in a good direction. But when we put both of these together, we can see that because we are a week behind, the continuing claims aren't going to factor into this uptick. So we do have that delay that's going on. Turning to the silver market, we can see that we were basically hovering right above that VWAP, with the VWAP sitting, right at 25, 21-ish. So we were above that. We were doing pretty well until we got into about midnight. We crossed over the midnight range, where we dropped just below the VWAP. We spun back up, but kind of like a car on icy roads. We started wavering. There started to be some turmoil that went on. We bounced down right into that -1 band range. We oscillated for a while. We wound up hitting at 6:10 this morning, all the way down at 2509, and we haven't busted that VWAP, or rather the -1 yet. However, it's really hard to say, and even right now we've kind of spun back up again. We're at 2513 according to the current board. So we are seeing a lot of this churn that's going through, and we're going to have to kind of look at this and figure out where it is. However, given what I've read, given what I've seen so far, it seems as though a lot of the attitudes towards silver right now, at least for the next few weeks, tend to be a little bit bullish. And a lot of analysts are expecting silver to drop into, the mid-24 range, like 24.50. I don't know how exactly I feel about that. I don't necessarily see that as something. I think that we're going to keep churning right around the 25 range. However, if we break, we're probably going to break another big to another 50 cents or so. but I'm just not sure that the will is there to truly break. But as we start looking at kind of the VWAPs as far as where they throw in, we see the previous as the fuchsia, we see the intraday as the green. We're still running below, and even right now at 25.13, we're still underneath both the intraday and the previous, but we're right in that range. So we are very close to it. So where it goes is really anyone's guess. So here we are with gold. Gold is man, when it reversed, it reversed. So I just want to zoom in probably to yesterday midnight. We'll go through. We can see kind of the last 2 days. I'm going to get to market close, which was right about here. So we got right to this point. That was yesterday's market close. Then we opened back up again right at this point. So let's look at just today's market, just to zoom in a bit more. So we can see that we started out the day's trading at under the -2 on the 5-day VWAP. We kept on descending quite a bit. So we just kept on moving down. We got as low as that 1797 before reversing back up. We got to the 1800 range, but then took another dive early morning. So we were still very much in overseas trading, but then we popped back up again, and we were still kind of oscillating underneath that 1800 mark. And we did that really until just getting there right until 8:30 a.m. So pretty much as soon as U.S. traders kind of woke up and started getting in the game again, we started popping it back up, and we went right above that -2 line. We got to the 1805, but then we started falling again. And even right now, we just popped again above the 1801. Gold itself is pretty strong. There are some pretty bullish indicators that are out there. Analysts are pretty bullish on gold at this point. However, gold seems to be oscillating a bit, and it seems to be just churning. So I think that we're kind of setting ourselves up for the next couple of days, just seeing where everything falls and just kind of moving in that sideways direction. I don't necessarily see a huge pop. I don't see a huge drop either. So I think that probably within $20 range between, I would have to say 1790 and like 1810. So somewhere in that neighborhood, I think that we're going to see a majority of the activity that's occurring. But I think that even as we start looking at this, 1807 as the VWAP, I think that that's a little bit optimistic at this point. It seems that gold has wanted to shift right around that 1800 mark. But we'll have to see. Right now, as you can see, we've got the VWAP, we've got the previous day, and then we've got the intraday. So we've got 3 declining VWAPs that are going on. However, I'm not seeing that trend is going to continue too much. So real quick hit on retail silver. We can see that across the board, all of the benchmarks have a very defined step to them. We can see that decline that's all going down, all the way from the 1 ounce generic, the Philharmonic, the Maple Leaf, the Silver Eagle, the 10 ounce bar, as well as even the normalized junk price. So it's actually still a pretty good deal in terms of silver, in terms of pricing. Generics, even on the average, we're seeing those right at, that $30 mark, 30.47. If we look down and we actually drive in, we can see that, generics are ranging from a low of 29.08 all the way up to the high that I've observed of 31.11. We can see that pretty much, I mean, there is a very obvious, I was going to draw a line, but do you really need to see one? You can see kind of a decline up to this point, and that just kind of moves sideways, which is similar to the way that silver has been pretty much moving as well. So we're kind of seeing these thresholds that that are forming. We're seeing some lines of resistance, even on the retail side. So it is what it is. Um, Silver Eagles, I just wanted to draw those out real quick because, 2 weeks ago we were at 42.36. This week we're at 41.15. Um, I think that part of that also has to do because this is a general category that just gets lumped in. So we've got, the type 1 and the type 2 that are going on, as well as what's in stock. So as we're looking at the Silver Eagles, we really have to take into account that, okay, is there a price disparity between these two things like that. So part of this comes down to a data analytics question that I have to answer for myself. Part of this comes down to a market differentiation. I haven't heard too many people that have been too excited about the type 2. If you've gotten one in your hands, I personally haven't yet. If you've gotten one in your hands and if you like it, leave me a comment. Let me know. If you don't like it, leave me a comment. Let me know. I'm interested to kind of hear the opinions on those physical pieces. Now, retail gold is a little bit different. I had listed that as, it's up, but it's mixed. And the reason I did that was for a couple of different reasons. One, we can see that on the premium stuff, the American Gold Eagle, the 10th ounce, we've had a decline in price. There's a lot of room to decline in price there, between the, we're up in the $2,700 range on this already. So it's important to kind of look at it and say, okay, well, is this an early indication of gold topping out? Maybe, maybe not. Generic, we still have a slight increase. Last week we were at 1894. This week we're at 1898 on average. So we are seeing that still increasing. Same as the Panda, we're still up. It's a $2 difference, but it is what it is. The Kangaroo, we have a $3 difference. On the Krugerrand, we have a $3 difference. The Philharmonic, we've actually had a slight decrease, 26 to 23. So that's also a $3 difference just in the opposite direction. The gold maple leaf is still appreciating. This one has had a $5 appreciation week over week. That's pretty good. However, like the gold eagle, we saw that actually dropped considerably from 1982 last week down to 1970 this week. So that's a $12 drop. Then we get into the gold buffalo. So the gold buffalo still went up by $3. So it is kind of mixed, and it's showing some softening, especially in some of the premium stuff. I consider, the gold maple leaf to be a premium item, and we actually saw some appreciation to it. I'm just wondering about the price of the gold eagle and whether it's just that overpriced that has some room to move down, or what happens to be. So again, kind of like before, give me your thoughts too. I'd love to hear what those have to say. And with that, I'm going to start wrapping this up. I think that we've had an interesting week even so far. Going from Monday until today, the bloodbath that we saw, that was pretty interesting. Now today, we seem to be primed for at least another kind of sideways day, I guess. But we'll have to see. But I'm also, as you may have noticed, I'm actually showing my face here on camera, which for anyone that's never done this is a brand new experience for me. Just sitting here talking to a computer or talking to a camera on my desk without anyone answering. It's always fun and exciting. But I figure it's a lot better than just listening to me voice over and stare at cows. So we'll have to see how this goes and whether I actually, make myself semi-presentable to be on camera each day. But we'll see where it goes and how it happens. But until next time, happy stacking.